Thank you very much, Bright, and permit me to say a very good morning to our listeners, especially members of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. I need to lay the foundation before we build on that. You see, per existing laws and statute, government is supposed to engage organized labor to negotiate for base pay increment annually, and it's supposed to commence somewhere around March, April, so that by May, June, it will be done with negotiations. But even before that, there's what we call the National Tripartite Committee. And when we talk about the National Tripartite Committee, we are basically talking about government on one side, employers association on one side, and then employees. They determine the national daily minimum wage. So once the national daily minimum wage has been determined, those of us on the single spine, we meet government and then negotiate for the minimum earner. The minimum earner on the single spine is the base pay. So we negotiate for increment of the base pay. And once we have negotiated for a percentage, it triggers and affects everybody on the single spine. Something happened in the year 2020 because of the COVID. You see, government came to the table indicating that because of the COVID and its impact on the economy, there was a need for the unions to understand and accept the fact that the economy was not doing well. We accepted the position of government based on the fact that he made a statement clear to the unions that any negotiations beyond 6%, 10% will mean that there will be retrenchment in the preceding year. So organized labor decided to maybe understand the position of government and then accept a percentage that was little. Let me use little in the sense that for 2020, we accepted 4%. And then that was for 2021, but the negotiations were supposed to be done in 2020. And then for this year, we accepted 7%. But unfortunately, in the negotiation, one of the major determinants is inflation and the rising cost of living. So after accepting the 7%, we realized that we were anticipating a maximum of 15% rise in inflation. But unfortunately, as we speak right now, inflation is around 27 to 30%. I can tell you today, fares have gone up to even 35%. They have increased lorry fares up to 35%. Fuel prices are going up. And by implication, it means that the cost of living is rising. And what that means is that it affects the purchasing power of the employee. We all buy from the same market. We are not doing business. We are service providers. If we were to be in any business at all, one prices goes up, I also adjust accordingly. But unfortunately for us who are service providers, we are unable to adjust accordingly. And it's up to government to turn back and consider our plight and then maybe adjust accordingly.
And so that is how come you have that clause in there.
Exactly.
In your negotiation, and you call it the wage opener clause.
Exactly.
What is this wage opener clause all about?
When the prices of goods or figures we are anticipating goes beyond what we were anticipating, it means that government is supposed to open its door for the unions to sit down and then renegotiate. That is basically what it means. Now, what I'm going to talk about now is the fact that when we started this call for negotiations on the COLA, government decided to turn a deaf ear to our demands. Since February, I've been knocking on the doors of government. You see, I've been indicated prior to our regional elections and even going into the national elections under the Ghana Education Service. What I stated was that our relationship with the employer isn't a master-slave affair. We need to understand that. We are rendering our services. We are supporting the government in a way. And at the end of the day, we expect that when there is the need for government to respect the employee, government should do same. When we started calling for this COLA, cost of living allowance, to adjust accordingly, government decided to turn a deaf ear. There have not been any instance that government has engaged even organized labor or even unions within the education sector, not even the sector minister on COLA. It's understandable that the sector minister may decide not to engage because in generic terms, it affects all public sector workers. But there need to be a trigger mechanism. And that is the reason why unions within the education sector decided to come together. And it's not only going to be the unions within the education sector. In the coming weeks, we are expecting the other unions to join. Just that we have started so that at least we could push government to give us something, sit down to negotiate. And I'm happy. You see, organized labor decided to us workers, teachers, to go back to the classroom pending negotiations with government. And it means that now they are ready to negotiate. We were expecting that earlier rather than this time. If government had engaged us and made it clear. I need to also admit that in the course of this year, somewhere around March, April, government decided to organize all the unions within the public service. And we had a meeting in the Eastern region, called Rock City Hotel, where the vice president, the president, the finance minister, everybody was present. They made it clear to us the state of the economy and what they were also anticipating. At the end of the day, we made it clear to them because of the bad faith exhibited in 2020, 2021, in the sense that when we went to the negotiations table, government made it clear that we should accept 7% based on certain parameters. But going forward, a report was released on the Article 71 workers, where their increment ranged from over 53% to 80%. And we did not understand why government acted that way. So
as we speak, you